A very warm and delightful welcome to my channel. My name is Muhammad Salim and you're watching Pursuit of Motivation. Today in this video, we are going to learn the first lesson of NCERT book Honeycomb of class 7th. The name of the lesson is 3 Questions, written by Leo Tolstoy. In this video, I'll cover the part 2 of this lesson. For part 1, watch my previous video. And you can subscribe my channel if you like what I do. I hope you all are exuberant to learn the part 2 of this lesson. So, let's get started. Before we move ahead, let's quickly recap the story. This story concerns a king who wants to find the answers to what he considers the 3 most important questions in life. The questions were: what is the right time to begin something? Which people should he listen to? What is the most important thing for him to do? The king was not satisfied with the answers of various men who came to him, so he went to a hermit for seeking answers. Now, let's move ahead with the story. The king turned round and saw a bearded man running towards them. His hands were pressed against his stomach, from which blood was flowing. When he reached the king, he fainted and fell to the ground. The king and the hermit removed the man's clothing and found a large wound in his stomach. The king washed and covered it with his handkerchief, but the blood would not stop flowing. The king redressed the wound until at last the bleeding stopped. Fainted, it means lost consciousness. Redressed, which means dressed again. The king saw a bearded man approaching towards them. The man was injured and was heavily bleeding, and as he reached the king, he felt unconscious on the ground. Both hermit and king removed his clothes, and they saw a deep wound in his stomach. The king washed his wound, but blood kept flowing. Finally, king redressed the wound, which stopped the blood flow. The man felt better and asked for something to drink. The king brought fresh water and gave it to him. By this time the sun had set and the air was cool. The king, with the hermit's help, carried the wounded man into the hut and laid him on the bed. The man closed his eyes and lay quiet. The king, tired by his walk and the work he had done, lay down on the floor and slept through the night. When he awoke, it was several minutes before he could remember where he was or who the strange bearded man lying on the bed was. The man was feeling better, but he was thirsty. So the king brought him fresh water, and by this time it was dark and cold outside. They carried the injured man inside the hut and laid him to rest. Because of the long walk and hard labor, the king was so tired that he slept on the floor throughout the night. When he woke up, it took him some time to gather the memories of previous night. "Forgive me," said the bearded man in a weak voice when he saw that the king was awake. "I don't know you and have nothing to forgive you for," said the king. "You don't know me, but I know you. I am that enemy of yours who swore revenge on you. because you have put my brother to death and seized my property. I knew you had gone alone to see that hermit, and I made up my mind to kill you on your way home. But the day passed and you did not return. So I left my hiding place and I came upon your bodyguard, who recognized me and wounded me. I escaped from him, but I should have died if you had not dressed my wounds. I wished to kill you, and you have saved my life. Now, if I live, I will serve you as your most faithful servant, and will order my sons to do the same. Forgive me. Seized. It means took by force. Faithful, which means loyal and true. The bearded man asked for the forgiveness of the king, but the king was puzzled to hear this, as king has met him for the first time. But the bearded man explained that he knew the king and he is his enemy, who has sworn to take revenge from king, because king has killed his brother and seized his property. The bearded man also revealed that he knew about the king's visit to hermit, and he had planned to kill the king to his way back to home. He told the king that he was hiding at a place, but was recognized by the bodyguard of king and got injured. He fled from him and reached the hermit's hut and was helped by king. He would have died if king would have not helped him. He wished to kill the king, but the king saved his life. He asked for the forgiveness of king and assured him that he will serve him as his loyal servant, and he will also order his sons to do the same. The king was very happy to have made peace with his enemy so easily, and to have won him over as a friend. He not only forgave him, but said he would send his servants and his own doctor to look after him. And he promised to give back the man his property. Leaving the wounded man, the king went out of the hut and looked round for the hermit. Before going away, he wished once more to get answers to his questions. The hermit was on his knees, sowing seeds in the beds that had been dug the day before. The king went up to the hermit and said, "For the last time, I beg you to answer my questions, wise man." Having made peace with his enemy so easily, king was very happy. He forgave the bearded man and promised him to return his property, and assured him to give him the service of his personal servant and doctor till he gets healthy. The king left the wounded man and started looking for the hermit. The hermit was sowing seeds. Before leaving back to his palace, the king hoped to get the answers to his 3 questions. So the king again asked the hermit with humbleness to answer his 3 questions. "You have already been answered," said the hermit, still bending down to the ground and looking up at the king as he stood before him. "How have I been answered? What do you mean?" "Do you not see?" replied the hermit. "If you had not pitied my weakness yesterday and had not dug these beds for me, you would have gone away. Then that man would have attacked you, and you would have wished you had stayed with me. So the most important time was when you were digging the beds, and I was the most important man, and to do me good was your most important business. Afterwards, when the man ran to us, the most important time was when you were caring for him. Because if you had not dressed his wounds, he would have died without having made peace with you. So he was the most important man, and what you did for him was your most important business. Hermit told the king that he has got his answers. King was surprised to hear this. He asked, "How has he been answered?" Hermit started explaining, and he said, if king had not pitied his weakness and had not dug beds for him, he would have gone away, and the bearded man would have attacked him, and king would have wished to stay with hermit. So when the king was digging the beds, it was the precious time for the king, and hermit was the most important man for him, and doing good to hermit was king's most important business. And after all this, when the injured man came to them, the most important time for king was when he was caring for the injured man, because if king had not helped him, he would have died without making peace with the king. That's why the bearded man was the most important man for king, and whatever king did for him was his most important business. Remember then, there's only one time that is important, and that time is now. It is the most important time because it is the only time we have any power to act. The most necessary person is the person you are with at a particular moment. For no one knows what will happen in the future and whether we will meet anyone else. The most important business is to do that person good, because we were sent into this world for that purpose alone. Hermit told the king that the most important time is the present moment, because this is what we have in control. And the most important person is the one whom you are with at a particular time, because we never know what will happen in future. And at last, the most important business is to take good care of the person whom you are with, as we are sent to this world for doing good to others. That's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this video. Till next time, take care, stay blessed.